is a place like no place on earth. Some say to survive it, you need to be as mad as a hatter. Which, luckily, I am.
Now, I was doing some research last night, and I found, and I don't know if you guys use this at all, I could be just shooting in the dark, but I found that the phrase "mad as a hatter" came from the fact that they would use glue, and there would be mercury in the glue, and it would kind of, they would get mercury poisoning.
Yeah,
did you guys pull from that?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because there's that great line in the book that I always found is, intriguing. Is I'm investigating things that begin with the letter M, and so that's what that was. That's what he was talking about. That's what Carol was talking about. He was talking about mercury.
Mm-hmm. He had a lot of cryptic things in there.
Very cryptic little bits, like "Why is a raven like a writing desk?" All that kind of very cryptic little things in there. And also what happened was the effect of the mercury. It was always a little different with each person, one guy, develop sort of Tourette's-like symptoms. Another guy would, go into some kind of multiple personality thing. It was a very strange effect.
Yeah, and I mean, even though we don't focus on the mercury poisoning,
right,
as a character, it helped. You can see, every little thing goes into what the performance of creating that character.
Well, because when I found it, I was like, well, I was a little afraid to ask. I was like, because it could be just completely, where they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. But it felt like it made sense.
No, that's why even if you don't use that stuff, it's good to know that stuff. It helps build the foundation of it.
Alice, it's you. You're back.
Alice!
Alice!
See, Alice? You're absolutely Alice. I'd know you anywhere.
You're all late for tea!
I was looking at all the behind-the-scenes photos of like you working on the green screen, and I was thinking like that would be like strange and unusual. But then I was thinking like that's kind of what Wonderland is. It's strange and unusual, and it's different. It's something you've never seen before. Yeah. So did it put you in that mindset, having to use your imagination so much?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was. It kind of felt, exactly like Wonderland is. It's strange and it doesn't always make sense. And the filming process was a lot like that. Like it didn't often make sense what we were doing, but you just kind of go with it. Mm-hmm. And similar to actually being in Wonderland.
Alice has returned to Wonderland.
Since you've been gone, the Red Queen has taken over all of Wonderland.
Find her!
Help us make the world right again.
Oh, there!
So, I've got to say, I think one of the things that I love about the Red Queen and the White Queen is that, they're not entirely 100% evil and not entirely good. I feel like, with the Red Queen, I see like a, kind of almost like a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum, throwing a fit.
2-year-old I'm glad you recognize that because that's exactly that was my child, in fact.
With the White Queen, I felt like there was a little bit, maybe a hint of that, she could have a little bit of a dark side. Do you think that there's a little bit, kind of going both ways on that?
No. I'm very obliging because I'm very, very bad. I've got problems. Because I play the white. I play the
Red Queen.
Yes, I play the Red Queen. Thanks.
You really do need to see this film.
Yeah, I do. It needs I've got how long ago we actually made it? But it was but it's really. She was clever. She's the clever one because she got the White Queen, which potentially could have been the really boring part, but she made it really evil and bad.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's.
Well, I just imagine, because we were, sisters, I just imagine that you tortured me when we were kids.
No, I think it's quite the reverse. I think you tortured me, and I'm the one with the big head. And actually, I'm the one who's really the one who's abused here, because she has small head, and those are overrated. And I get big head, and they give the crown to her, and yet I was the one who was meant to have the crown. That's why I'm just taking back.
More mass to support it, certainly.
I know.
I didn't even want the crown. That's the really infuriating thing.
But you certainly want it this time now.
Yeah, well, because look what you did with it. Honestly.
No,
I love you guys. We could just sit here.
We were going to do. I have a dim memory, but I can't remember it exactly. Weren't we going to do some sort of DVD of our early days?
Yes.
That would have been so nice.
Like kind of in
as
sepia
children.
tone.
Yeah. Before my head got too big. My head was normal size.
I just imagine kind of her, like my character, like playing with like the woodland creatures and you scowling at us.
Yeah, and she's always done all that wafting,
just wanting
stuff.
to play.
You have to do the hands as you're moving. The hands have to kind of lead you which way you're going. I definitely noticed that. I love
that. So affected. And then she does the gliding bit. She was on wheels for the whole thing, and ever so often she gets stuck.
And
it was very clever.
I need a push.
So like, how on earth does she do that? How can she walk like that? It was mesmerising.
Well.
And then the hand thing too, and the Norma Desmond thing, and I just thought, but she was so sickeningly good.
I need a pig here. I love a warm pig belly for my aching feet. Stop that.
Now, watching the character, one of the things that I loved was that, depending on his mood, he shifts into different accents. He acts differently. It's kind of like, like a kinder form of a personality disorder. And so, in a sense, while he's like this great, fun guy, I felt like there was a sense of sadness. There was a little bit of a tragedy to him.
Oh, most definitely, because you'd pick the spot or find the spot that would trigger it, and so it could go from he could go from being incredibly sort of light and happy and smiling to suddenly this very dark kind of semi Glaswegian kind of with this underlying rage, this danger, to suddenly being very sad, and scared like a little boy. So yeah, no, it was fun to be able to travel around in those arenas.
All versions of Alice Wonderland, every character is just weird. I mean, it was important, even though we don't delve into it, is to still feel like a humanity and there's a craziness, but there is, like you said, a sadness and a pathos to the character, and a sadness that was important because, again, with Alice material, it rarely gets any kind of emotional feel to it. So it was important to try to get a little of that into this.
We have our champion.
So, I saw some of the like behind the scenes production photos, and I saw like they gave you like a big kind of like a big green suit.
That's right.
Were you a little bit jealous that you didn't get like a rabbit suit?
I wear a green suit anyway.
Anyway?
Big green
You
suit,
do?
yeah, just generally.
You're naturally green.
I am.
Yeah.
The makeup job.
Would that have helped maybe kind of get you more into the
I'd
the
have
character
loved to. I'd have loved to have put the ears on and the tail and jumped around, but they didn't need me to do it. I offered. I turned up at the set every day in it.
Begging,
Wouldn't let me
please.
on. Wouldn't let me on.
Wouldn't let you on.
No.
No, they put you in a room with the man who did Roger Rabbit.
That's
Still
right.
Turning up every day,
That's
25
right.
years later.
Well, was that cool having that suit? I mean, kind of because it looked like a lot of fun to
Yeah,
get in that.
to be dressed as a giant pea. I liked it. I liked it very much.
A mushy pea.
Yeah, should I tell you something? I don't know whether this is family orientated.
It's fine.
Okay, well basically, I shot for 10 weeks on the movie, and it was only in week 8 that I realised that that there was a space where I could do a pee. I could have a pee. There was a zip. I didn't know.
Hold
No
it
one,
in
honestly,
that
no
whole
one
time?
told me. I would just honestly go, well, I've got the suit on. I'm not going to complain. I'm in a big movie. And then just one day I found it. I was like, oh wow, what is this? In a way, almost like a child finding their genitalia. I wish I hadn't said that. Really wish I hadn't said that.
So actually, you didn't put weight on at all. It was just 8 weeks of urine
Water retention.
retained.
Yeah. I wish
See, that's how I know that when an interview's
these
going
things
well.
hadn't been said.
This is what television is about.
It is, isn't it?
The behind the scenes little tidbit of information.
Yeah.
Now you can't tell that story to anyone else.
No, I
Because
won't.
that's my lead off story.
Okay.
Alice in Wonderland star doesn't pee for 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Tortured by Tim Burton.
Torture.
Hold on tightly.
This is impossible.
I was looking at the movies that you've done together, and I'm looking at the characters that you've done in his movies, and I feel like a lot of them are very internal characters. They keep a lot of, whether it's, Ichabod Crane, who's trying to be courageous in front of everyone, or Ed Wood or Edward Scissorhands, and now you have Matt Hatter, who's kind of like this mood ring, and he wears his emotions on his sleeve. Does that change the dynamic of working together now that the character takes a completely 180?
No.
No. I mean, I think it's because the thing is like, especially when you work together with somebody, it's like you always want to try something different, I mean, from Scissorhands, where the character didn't talk, then he does Ed Wood, where he can't shut the character up, to this and that. It's fun. That's what's great. That's what you love working with somebody, to see those changes and see like the dynamic changing, become a new character. I think that's very important.
Only if you believe it is.